another city of the country, and for entirely different reasons.
Aurangzeb rises from dead, sparks riots. Maha government warns, Pawar downplays.
इतने औरंगजेब के औलादे कहाँ से पैदा हुई, इसके पीछे कौन है, इसका असली मालिक कौन है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे.
Is India obsessed with Aurangzeb? Why does Aurangzeb's ghost still haunt? Top focus on 5 Live.
Kolhapur is in Maharashtra, and it's the very latest flashpoint when it comes to Mughals, this time in Aurangzeb. I'm going to do a deep dive today, viewer, here on India Today, not just to tell you what happened in Kolhapur, but also to go even deeper into this entire mechanism of people being triggered by the ghost of Aurangzeb. Thanks for tuning in. You're not going to miss this show because I'm going to answer some of those questions you've got for me. First, the headlines. Wrestlers meeting with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur ends after over 5 hours. Wrestlers adamant on arrest, Brij Bhushan demand. BJP formulates southern strategy ahead of 2024. Talks of alliance with JDS in Karnataka comes to the fore. Kumaraswamy, however, refutes these claims. Bengal Chief Minister turns Odisha train tragedy into a glaring photo opportunity. Hands out checks to victims at a mega event in a Kolkata stadium. Big debate at 5:30. Stalin versus Tamil Nadu governor war escalates. DMK mouthpiece lashes out at Governor R.N. Ravi, calls him half-boiled for taunting Stalin's foreign visits. Dramatic shootout in Lucknow civil court. Don Mukhtar Ansari's aide and accused in BJP MLA's murder shot dead. Several injured in the attack. Aurangzeb posters, Aurangzeb WhatsApp display pictures, social media posts are the new fuel of a fire that has been lit in Maharashtra's Kolhapur. Well, obviously there's politics involved, but the real headline here, viewer, is that the violence you see, the lathi charges that have happened, the stone throwing that has reportedly taken place in some places, the vandalism of public property and vehicles, and the anger on the streets of parts of the otherwise beautiful city of Kolhapur in Maharashtra is only the latest example of how a dead Mughal emperor has been brought back into modern India to remind us that they may be dead, but they certainly have not been forgotten. Take a look at these two things on my screen, viewer. A poster of Aurangzeb and a WhatsApp video, a WhatsApp display picture shared widely that's gone viral, saying that the true Baap is Aurangzeb. Designed to trigger, designed to irritate, designed to irk, and designed to provoke. The question really is, why is it that Aurangzeb, who's been dead for over 3 centuries now, still has the capacity and the capability to trigger something like this in modern India? Take a look at what happened in Kolhapur.
Maharashtra's Kolhapur on the boil. Hindu groups go on the rampage, vandalize shops and damaging vehicles. The violent protests were brought under control after the police lathi charged the crowd.
पुलिस ने जो जमाव था उस पर अश्रु धुएं के नलखंडे डाले थे, अश्रु धुएं के बौछारें भी डाले थे, साथ ही लाठी चार्ज भारी मात्रा में यहाँ पर होते हुए नजर आया था.
The Hindu outfits were protesting a WhatsApp status put by 3 Muslim teenagers on Tuesday in praise of the 17th century Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, who who had fought many battles with Maratha icon Chhatrapati Shivaji. The WhatsApp status hailed Aurangzeb as the true king. Earlier, posters of Aurangzeb were raised during a procession on Sunday in Ahmednagar. The police booked 4 people, including the city unit chief of Asaduddin Owaisi's party AIMIM, who organized the rally for allegedly inciting violence. The Maharashtra government has made it clear no forgiveness would be granted to anyone invoking the name of Aurangzeb.
मैं खुद पर्सनली अधिकारियों के साथ संपर्क में हूँ और कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है, ऐसा आह्वान भी मैं करता हूँ। और राज्य में सभी लोग शांति से रहे या राज्य में शांति रहे, अमन रहे, इसके लिए सभी लोगों ने सहयोग करने की आवश्यकता है।
महाराष्ट्र में अचानक कुछ जिलों में औरंगजेब की औलादें पैदा हुई है, जो औरंगजेब का फोटो दिखाते हैं, औरंगजेब का स्टेटस रखते हैं और इसके कारण एक दुर्भावना समाज में पैदा हो रही है। कौन जानबूझकर महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था खराब हो और महाराष्ट्र का नाम खराब हो, ये करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे।
The opposition NCP has accused the Eknath Shinde government of failing to ensure law and order in the state.
होम मिनिस्ट्री के पास एक इंटेलिजेंस का रिपोर्ट आता है, तो इनका इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट इनको नहीं बताता क्या होने वाला है। इतने दंगे जब से इनकी सरकार आई है, दंगे ही हुए, इसके पहले इतने दंगे कभी नहीं हुए इस राज्य में। तो ऑब्वियसली ये फेलियर ऑफ होम मिनिस्ट्री है ना।
Aurangzeb, who expanded the Mughal territory nearly to the entirety of the Indian subcontinent, has become the latest political flashpoint in Maharashtra politics. The Mughal emperor, seen as a divisive figure, is accused of targeting Hindus during his rule. Bureau Report, India Today.
India Today's Pankaj Khelkar joins us live en route to Kolhapur in Maharashtra. Pankaj, what is the current situation right now? The images we saw through the day suggested there has been quite a bit of rioting. Lathi charge has also taken place. What is the current situation?
Shivaji, as of now, the situation is under control, but still there is tension all over because almost in the heart of Kolhapur city, this riot erupted from Shivaji Chowk, wherein few of the Hindu youth had gathered. Police tried to pacify them, but while they were returning, stone pelting started, and almost in 4 to 5 areas of Kolhapur, all of the rioting thing happened, and then police had to use lathi charge as well as tear gas to control the mob. As of now, the situation is under control. 20 to 25 youth have been rounded off. The police as well as collector over here in Kolhapur have appealed to the public that not to venture in such activity. While we spoke to few of the locals in Kolhapur, they said that such a thing hadn't happened in this city for many years. Such incident wherein all of the youth have gone berserk, they started pelting stone and they started attacking a particular community, is all because a post that has gone viral on social media, a status that was kept by a minor boy in Kolhapur who was detained. He is under detention by the Kolhapur police,
Yes.
who are trying to investigate who exactly is behind all such things.
Okay, Pankaj, stay safe when you head into Kolhapur because things are said to be still tense, but we'll keep coming back to you for an update. Now, I want to ask a bigger question because this is by far not the first time that Aurangzeb has become the reason for violent politics in Maharashtra. Why does Aurangzeb trigger Maharashtra perhaps more than any other state? Why is the very mention of Aurangzeb so fraught with law and order risk in this one state of the country? Obviously, there's a great deal of politics with groups fanning sentimental fires for their own ends. But that doesn't mean there wasn't a tumultuous relationship between Aurangzeb's Mughal empire and the Maratha kingdom of what is now Maharashtra. The resistance and conflicts that took place have had a lasting impact on the history and cultural identity of what is now Maharashtra. Let me get a little deeper into it so you understand why people are so angry. For starters, the demolition of Maratha temples. Aurangzeb's policies of temple destruction extended to the Maratha Empire as well. Many historical accounts mention the destruction of Hindu temples in Maharashtra at Aurangzeb's orders, including the famous Kashi Vishveshwar temple in Pune, the Trayambakeshwar temple in Nashik, and the Vithoba temple in Pandharpur. Then there's the persecution of Marathas. Aurangzeb's oppressive taxation policies, religious intolerance towards the Marathas sparked significant resistance and some of the most violent episodes. The Marathas, led by their leader, Chhatrapati Shivaji, and later by his son Shivaji Maharaj, fiercely opposed Aurangzeb's rule and fought for the independence of their kingdom. Third and probably the most emotively, the execution of Shivaji's son Shivaji by Aurangzeb's troops. They captured Shivaji, the son of Shivaji, and the second Maratha ruler in 1689. According to historical accounts, Shivaji was brutally tortured and executed with his body dismembered and thrown into a river. Now, the fourth point of why the relationship between the Mughal Empire and especially Aurangzeb and Maharashtra is so fraught with politics and hatred, the siege of the Raigad fort. Aurangzeb laid a prolonged siege to the capital of the Maratha Empire after capturing Shivaji. The siege lasted for over 1 year, leading to significant hardships for the Marathas defending the fort. Eventually, the fort was captured by Aurangzeb's forces, and finally, the Battle of Pratapgarh in 1659 was a significant clash between the forces of Shivaji and Aurangzeb's army. The Marathas emerged victorious in this battle, which marked a turning point in the Maratha resistance against Mughal rule and further intensified the conflict between the two powers. Now, over 3.5 centuries later, the fact that Aurangzeb, or a picture of Aurangzeb, can still spark a riot and mobilize communities against one another is a tragic commentary on the potency of his legacy and the will of certain groups, sections of Maharashtra, to keep Emperor Aurangzeb's ghost completely alive. Now let's tell you a little bit more by zooming out a little, because Aurangzeb is a topic that most people are familiar with. We study it in school, many people study it in college as well, and it's the ripest fodder for politics in the country. Aurangzeb may be particularly radioactive in Maharashtra, and it's become an emotive issue now because of what's happening in Kolhapur. But if you zoom out, it isn't difficult to see how Aurangzeb's legacy has made him a controversial hot potato across many parts of India. While some view Aurangzeb as a pious and strict ruler, others criticize his policies and actions, pointing to instances of cruelty. I'll name just a few of them. Aurangzeb's most prominent act of cruelty was the execution of his own brother, Dara Shikoh, who was a patron of the arts and said to be a proponent of religious harmony. Aurangzeb didn't like that. He defeated Dara Shikoh in a power struggle and then had him mercilessly executed. Second, Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of several prominent Hindu temples that are the subject of politics even today. For instance, the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi and the Keshava Deo temple in Mathura. These acts were seen as attempts to impose Islamic supremacy, but they also carried with them the special Aurangzeb brand of cruelty. Third, the aggressively enforced imposition of jizya, a tax targeting non-Muslims, particularly Hindus, and was considered a discriminatory taxation policy. The fourth in Aurangzeb's legacy of cruelty was the persecution of Sikhs and a policy of suppressing the Sikh community. He ordered the execution famously of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Sikh Guru, and persecuted Sikh followers, leading to a prolonged period of conflict between the Mughal Empire and the Sikh community. Fifth, and something that's brought up very often during discussions about Aurangzeb even now, is forced conversions. Now, historical accounts suggest Aurangzeb implemented policies aimed at converting non-Muslims to Islam forcefully. He is said to have imposed strict Islamic laws and targeted individuals who resisted conversion. These are according to historical accounts. Now, Aurangzeb was also famous for the demolition of several Sufi shrines and tombs, including the shrine of Chishti Saint Moinuddin Chishti in Ajmer. These actions were seen as an affront to Sufi traditions and practices. Aurangzeb also implemented heavy taxation policies that burdened the common population, leading to economic hardships and discontent among his subjects. Now, his prolonged military campaign against the Maratha Empire, including the brutal treatment of prisoners of war and heavy taxation, led to widespread resentment and resistance from the Marathas, which takes you back to what I began this entire discussion with. The execution of Sikh Banda Singh Bahadur, a Sikh military commander who had led a successful rebellion against the Mughals. This act was considered particularly cruel and aimed at suppressing the Sikh resistance. And finally, unlike some of his Mughal predecessors, Aurangzeb's famous cruelty extended into the suppression of cultural activities. He is renowned and commonly said to have discouraged cultural activities including music, dance and art, as he believed them to be un-Islamic. He imposed strict restrictions on artistic expression, leading to a decline in cultural vibrancy during his reign, a vibrancy that had been brought in by some of his predecessors, notably Akbar and Shah Jahan. Viewer, as you well know, historical interpretations of Aurangzeb's reign vary, and there are differing perspectives on his actions. Some argue that his policies were motivated by religious zeal and a desire for strict Islamic governance, while others view them as acts of tyranny and cruelty. Whatever the view, the vibrancy of his legacy means that modern India is still renaming roads and cities to erase Aurangzeb from our visible existence. And that is something, in my opinion, we need to really think about and grapple with. Are we really a country that needs to continue to wrestle with the ghost of Aurangzeb? Does our politics still need to contain a dash of this Mughal emperor? Should pictures of Aurangzeb continue to trigger sections? Should riots be the end result of someone posting a WhatsApp status? Does our law and order machinery not have enough sections in our penal code to deal with those who try and fan passions in communities? Why does everything have to lead to street violence, lathi charge, etc.? It's something we nearly need to think about. But remember that Aurangzeb is only one part of it. He was only one Mughal emperor. Because truth to tell, no old empire of India triggers political upheaval, government action, mob violence or community flare-ups in today's India like the Mughals do. We can all agree on that. While we think about why the memory of the Mughals continues to instill such strong emotions in an India that has long moved on from that age, here's a reminder, viewer, of just how alive the Mughals actually are in our everyday existence even now. Whether you like it or not, these are real issues and they all have direct links to the Mughals. Take, for instance, the recent Taj Mahal controversy. Some politicians and groups have questioned the historical significance and attempted to downplay the Taj Mahal's Mughal heritage, often suggesting alternative theories about the Taj Mahal's origins, if you can believe it. There have been debates and controversies surrounding the renaming of places in India that have Mughal names. Certain political factions have called for changing the names of cities, streets, landmarks associated with the Mughals, citing a desire to remove perceived symbols of Mughal rule and assert a different cultural and historical identity. I'm not making it up. You know there are real examples. Recent ones include Aurangabad being renamed Sambhaji Nagar, Aurangzeb Road in Delhi being renamed APJ Abdul Kalam Marg, and Akbar Ka Kila in Rajasthan being renamed Ajmer Ka Kila. The most famous and sustained impact of Mughal rule on modern India is, you guessed it, the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi dispute, a long-standing, highly contentious issue involving a mosque built during the Mughal era that was demolished by Hindu Karsevaks in 1992. The dispute revolved around the claim that the mosque was built by Babur on the birthplace of Lord Ram. The political and legal battles surrounding this issue have been highly divisive and have shaped India's political landscape. A new Ram temple is nearly complete at that very same site and will be inaugurated early next year. The inclusion and portrayal of Mughal history in school textbooks has been a subject of political controversy repeatedly, with the NCERT recently removing Mughal chapters for school textbooks. Various groups and political parties have debated the content and interpretation of Mughal history, often seeking to highlight or downplay certain aspects to align with their respective ideological perspectives. To those with a willful hatred for all things Mughal, these actions are corrective measures of a history of cruelty and a retrieval of identity from perceived outsiders. To others, the vibrancy of Mughal politics in a brave new India only underscores the dependence of modern politicians on ghosts of long-gone rulers for today's political mileage. Wherever you stand on the Mughals, one thing appears beyond debate, viewer, and you'll agree with me. Cities, forts and roads may be renamed, but the empire won't be evaporating from our politics, sadly, anytime soon. Okay, that was all about Aurangzeb, but we're taking a very quick break here. On the other side, Mamata Banerjee, who frequently attacks the BJP, perhaps rightly so, for event managing many things, is now doing it herself. She booked an entire stadium to create a huge event. And what was the reason? To give out checks to the victims of the train tragedy in Odisha. Is Mamata Banerjee a hypocrite? We debate next.
How has it been for small caps? Because a lot of small cap portfolios over the last 1 year have not done very well. Things have started improving now. But what's been your experience over the last year or two with small caps?
Udin, thank you very much for having me, first of all. I am very happy with this small and mid caps where I am investing. And what my experience is that index is still yet to touch a new high, or may have touched briefly, I don't know, I'm not tracking it. But the small and mid caps have risen 4 times and 5 times in last 2 years. So my experience has been very good. So I'm happy.
But tell me, small cap investing is never easy. I mean, some of these names that you mentioned, like Repro and Vaibhav, they don't give you rewards in the time frame often that you have in mind. You have to be very patient. How do you approach some of these names which do not actually start giving you returns in a 2-3 year time frame? Do you stay the course and wait for the story to play out, or do you cut some of them out of your portfolio? I mean, what is the balancing act between for some of these names which are not quite multi-baggers soon after you buy them?
You see, Vaibhav did reward me maybe 1 year after I bought, and Repro had also rewarded me. But finally, but due to COVID and all, their disruption got disrupted. So the stock price fell down. So that is okay, because as long as I said that stay in the sunset industry, sunrise industry at any cost. Cost could be high and cost could be low. Stock may perform, stock may not perform. But as long as the story intact, as long as you believe that the sun is still rising, so it's okay. Sometimes sun is in the clouds, sometimes it is in the open. So this is stock market. You are never 100% right. Even if 50-60% is your if you are right in this market, then this is enough for you.
What in your book is a sunset industry, Vijay? Let me ask you that. I mean, what kind of sectors or stocks do you stay out of? Because these days, all kinds of stocks have done well. Coal India, for example, which in many investors' eyes would qualify as a sunset industry, coal, or NTPC, or even tobacco like ITC, they have done well. What are the sectors that you stay away from?
You see, I have never bought all these companies like Coal India and like REC and ITC. Of course, that was a bad choice, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. So so far, sunset industry is concerned. I will give you one example that I had bought this IT industry in 2019. After COVID in 2020 and 21, 2 companies I had bought. So one was Intellect Design, another was an IIT. And I held on to them. They became multi-bagger also in 2 years' time. But after that, 1 year back, or maybe 1.5 years, I exited because I realized that maybe now the flavor in this theme is over. So that could be a sunset industry to me, only for these 2 shares. But there is exception to the rules also. Like Persistent is at all-time high, and Coforge or some Scient and all these. There are 2-3 shares in the same sector which are at all-time high. So it depends so what I will say that if I find that the story in my company is over or plateaued or stagnant, maybe for a long time, maybe for 2-3 years, then I would like to exit. This is what I mean by sunset. Yeah.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Big boost to India's vision of emerging as a manufacturing powerhouse. Taiwanese giant Foxconn will start manufacturing iPhones in Bengaluru by 2024. While Foxconn's expansion is undoubtedly advantage to India, an embarrassing fight for credit has erupted in Karnataka. The Siddaramaiah government is trumpeting Foxconn investment, calling it a huge boost for Karnataka.
BJP is not aware of the origins of manufacturing of iPhones in India. Probably they should look into their own government orders, and they should then they will realize that the seeds of it was sown when I was the IT-BT minister, when Wistron came and started their first manufacturing plant here in Karnataka. Either ways, if they really want to take credit, they can. Ultimately, Karnataka's win.
See, this is like when the Mars orbiter was put in space. The Prime Minister was not even the Prime Minister for a few days, and we saw how he took credit for the when he himself, instead of giving the credit to the scientists, he himself went to Sri Harikota. So, government is always in continuum. We have to do good work. That is what is important.
The Karnataka BJP and its leaders has hit back, claiming it was Basavaraj Bommai's win.
What they have not done, how can they claim credit? It's all been done by our government, and that time they were making a mockery, they were making all kind of statements, and they criticized us. So that is what is indicating now itself. In future, next 5 years, we are not going to do anything. Now we will try to gain credit for what has been done by the previous government.
On March 3rd, then Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai had met the Foxconn chairman. He too announced that an agreement had been signed with the iPhone maker.
They had shown interest, they had been visiting so many times. Then ultimately they saw the land, their chairman came, saw the land. And then they wanted some policy change we brought in. They saw our policies, they accepted it. And they had their own survey as far as high-tech human manpower and all. And we signed a LOI.
The 13,600 crore rupees Foxconn project is expected to create 50,000 jobs. Foxconn's expansion in India will increase India's participation in the global electronics market and give a push to the Prime Minister's flagship Atmanirbhar Bharat mission in the cutting-edge sector. While iPhone production tripled in India last year, it still accounts for only 7% of Apple's total iPhone output. Bureau Report, India Today. Stadium gig for train tragedy families. Is this about Mamata or the victims? Same Didi accuses BJP of event management. Top focus on 5 Live.
Now, this is not so much a face-off over propriety or whether this is, the right thing to do after the Odisha train tragedy. This is also about political hypocrisy. Mamata Banerjee, on multiple occasions, and I'll give you examples in just a moment, has accused the BJP of event management, of grandstanding, of creating, high spectacle events for their politics and for their central schemes. But here's Mamata Banerjee, in a stadium no less, on stage, high visibility, high profile event in a sporting stadium. And what is the reason? She's invited the families of victims of the Odisha train tragedy there to give them ex gratia money. 2,000 rupee notes have now become the latest flashpoint between the Trinamool and the BJP. Some of these people, says the BJP, were apparently even given 2,000 rupee notes. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee doling out compensation to the families of the Odisha train victims in 2,000 rupee notes, which has taken a political angle of its own. Mamata also distributed compensation checks at the Netaji Indoor Stadium in Kolkata. The Chief Minister has called family members of the victims to come to that stadium and collect that compensation in full media glare in front of all the cameras, something she always accuses the BJP of. The BJP has typically slammed Mamata for giving withdrawn 2,000 rupee notes as compensation to the families of the victims and insulting them. The BJP said that the Trinamool was trying to get rid of its black money by giving away 2,000 rupee notes, while the Trinamool claims that these notes are still legal. The BJP has also attacked the Trinamool government of grandstanding, making this all about Mamata Banerjee and it being in bad taste, since this is the families of victims of the Odisha tragedy that we're talking about.
এই যে টাকাগুলো কিভাবে আজকের মুখ্যমন্ত্রী অভিষেক বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের মাধ্যমে এই সমস্ত বাড়িতে 2000 টাকার নোট তারা দিচ্ছে, এই টাকার বৈধতা কোথায়, এই টাকাটা কোথা থেকে এসছে, এর জন্য আমরা এই পূর্ণ তদন্তের জন্য এনফোর্সমেন্ট ডিরেক্টরের কাছে আমরা আবেদন জানাই। যিনি মন্ত্রী আজকের একাধিক জায়গায় যাচ্ছেন, 2 লক্ষ টাকা তারা দিচ্ছেন এবং সেগুলো 2000 টাকার নোটের বান্ডিল। এই টাকাটা কোথা থেকে ওনারা পেয়েছেন, এই টাকা কিভাবে এলো?
এত বড় একটা ঘটনা, দুর্ঘটনা কি করে ধামা চাপা দেওয়া যায়, তার প্রচেষ্টা এবং প্রচেষ্টা। যাদের পরিবারগুলো সব হারিয়েছেন তারা এদের কাছে কৈফিয়ত চান যে সত্য তথ্য বেরোক, কেন অ্যাক্সিডেন্টটা হলো, কেন এতজন মারা গেল? বিংশ শতাব্দীর সবচেয়ে বড় অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট। ধামাচাপা দেবার জন্য ব্যাপারটা, অ্যাকচুয়াল অ্যাক্সিডেন্টের ইনভেস্টিগেশন হলো না, সব সাফা হয়ে গেল, কোনো এভিডেন্স নেই। আমি চাই সত্যটা বেরোক। রেল ইনসিডেন্ট অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট না করে সকাল থেকে সিবিআইকে পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে দিল্লি। কলকাতার 14টা থেকে 16টা মিউনিসিপ্যালিটিতে ঢুকে গেছে, নগরান্নয়নে ঢুকে গেছে। এবার কি বাথরুমেও ঢুকবে নাকি? জিজ্ঞেস করুন, ওয়াশরুমেও ঢুকবে এখন? ওইটুকুই বাকি আছে। এসব করে এত বড় অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট ধামা চাপা দেওয়া যায় না। প্রত্যেকটা আত্মার আত্মীয়রা কাঁদছে, আত্মাগুলো কাঁদছে। মনে রাখবেন, তাদের শান্তি ফিরিয়ে দিতে হবে, তাদের আপনজনকে ফিরিয়ে দিতে হবে। আপনজনকে আপনারা ফিরিয়ে দেননি, কেড়ে নিয়েছেন, তারা কোনোদিনও ফিরে আসবে না। কিন্তু সঠিক ব্যবস্থা হোক, তদন্ত হোক। মিথ্যে কথা বলে ছাইকে কখনো আগুনকে কখনো ছাই চাপা দেওয়া যায় না।
BJP. Okay, we're going to come back to our face-off with our guests in just a moment, but I'm told we have some breaking news now. The wrestlers, the Dangal protesting wrestlers have just emerged from a 6.5-hour meeting with the Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. These are live images coming out. The wrestlers' Sports Minister meeting has just ended and they've just emerged from inside. Let's try and see if we can get some word from them. Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik visible in this frame. Looks like they're going to have something to say to the media after a 6.5-hour meeting. Let's listen in. It's outside Minister Anurag Thakur's home. Lots of TV cameras. India Today obviously out front. We'll get you their voice first here on the channel. Stand by for Sakshi Malik and Bajrang Punia about to speak.
Audio check, audio check, audio check.
अभी कहाँ बाइट दे रहे, अभी आए नहीं। तुम लोग सारे अपनी बात।
Big crowd outside Minister Anurag Thakur's home, where a 6.5-hour meeting has just taken place. Remember, this is the second time in the last 45 days that Anurag Thakur has met with the wrestlers. We don't know just yet if any breakthrough or compromise has been arrived at. Nothing to suggest that it has. But the wrestlers have spent over nearly 6 hours with the minister. The minister had invited them for talks earlier this morning. They've spent their time there. The street protest itself has wound up. Let's listen in.
सर टायर से अपने पैर में जाना, अपना पैर। आगे करो इसे।
Nitin Srivastav is right up there. You can see him in the blue shirt trying to get a word in, always right in front. India Today's reporters always right in front.
एक मिनट हमारी आराम से करो, हमारी बात हुई है। अरे आराम से आप लोग, हमारी बात हुई है, हमारी बात हुई है। अभी वही बता रहे हैं, एक बार आप शांत रहे। सरकार से कुछ बिंदुओं पे बात हुई है और या साइड में रोक रहे हैं, साइड में रोक रहे हैं। एक मिनट साइड में रोक रहे हैं। आप लोगों के बाइट दे के जाऊंगा आप लोगों को। देखो, अरे भाई महिला है, आप देखो एक बार। एक मिनट साइड में लगा रहे हैं, एक बार साइड में लगा रहे हैं। एक मिनट क्या हो गया? क्या हो गया यार, तुम बीच में या तो आगे मत घुसो मैडम,
रोक दीजिए, रोक दीजिए,
साइड में रोके क्यों?
साइड में रोक दीजिए।
ऊपर साथ ही साथ रुक जाओ, खुल जाएगा, रुक जाओ, रुको, पैनिक मत करो यार, रुक जाओ, पैनिक मत करो, सब खुल जाएगा, आराम से होगा, पैनिक मत करो।
Punia trying his best to fight through the media scrum to get a word in, but there are just too many journalists there. Let's hope that he is able to speak so we get a sense of what's happening. That's India Today's Nitin Srivastav there in the blue shirt. You can see he's right up front trying to get a word in from Bajrang Punia. He and Sakshi Malik in the same vehicle, getting away from there. We're gonna stay with the sound from the ground in case Bajrang Punia rolls down that window and speaks to the press. Trying to get a word in. It's important because what happened inside this 5.5 hour meeting is crucial to what happens next in this protest. Have there been made any assurances, any promises? We don't know just yet. Let me get a quick word in from India Today's Polami Saha. Polami, Bajrang Punia, we're waiting on a word from him. Anything you're hearing, anything you can tell us, Polami?
Well, Shiv, we're still waiting for some clarity on that because as you can see, there was a lot of chaos as, of course, the wrestlers left from Anurag Thakur's residence, the Union Sports Minister's residence. There's a possibility that they've been given time till 15th of June. Again, something that I'm waiting on confirmation about. Clearly, it's not come from the Union Sports Minister's office at the moment, but there could be a word that could be coming in very soon about that clarity as to what exactly happened after.
Speaking, let's just listen.
एक दो दिन में हम उनकी सहमति से बात करके उनको बता देंगे कि ये चीजें हम बात हुई है, तो वो चीजें वो गिर गया न्यूज 18 का आपको ये लिए भाई गिरफ्तारी पर क्या बात हुई? देखिए वही सरकार ने बोला कि भाई हम 15 तारीख तक जो पुलिस की प्रक्रिया है वो पूरा करके आप लोगों को बता देंगे। और ये बताया जा रहा विनेश फोगाट नाराज थी इसलिए शामिल नहीं हुई, क्या वजह थी? आज ये सारी बोलने की बातें हैं, मुझे नहीं पता कहाँ से ये लोगों के पास आती है। अभी मीटिंग और चलेगी और वार्ता का दौर चलेगा, अनुराग ठाकुर से और वार्ता होगी। देखिए अगर कोई और बात हुई तो आगे फिर बात ठीक होगी। धन्यवाद, थैंक यू, धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद। भजन भाई एक बार आराम से जाओ भजन भाई जाओ।
Bajrang Punia telling the journalists assembled there, the government has assured us on the probe that is underway and that police action will be completed. The police investigation will be completed by the 15th of June, and that after that they will be briefed once again by the minister or the government. So assurances have been given to the wrestlers by the sports minister, but it is not clear what happens to the protest. Will the protest itself continue? In what form? What happens between now and June the 15th? We don't know just yet. Let's go across to Polami and Himanshu Mishra, both of them joining us. Polami, what are you hearing? Bajrang Punia says that the minister has made assurances that the investigation will be completed by June the 15th. What next?
Well, yes, that is what the wrestlers are saying, that the government has told them that we'll let you know about the status of the investigation by the 15th of June. Remember that the Delhi police is already investigating this matter and they've already said that they will be filing a status report on it very soon, in a matter of days. Already, of course, this is an investigation which is ongoing. They've been to Lucknow, they've been to Gonda as well. They have spoken with Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. They've spoken with the complainants in this case as well. The complainants have recorded their statement under section 164 of the CRPC as well. So Delhi police has already indicated that if they find evidence in this case, then they will be filing a charge sheet, and if they don't find any evidence in this case which supports the allegations that have been made by the protesting wrestlers, then they will be filing a closure report. So the status report by Delhi police will be filed very soon, and that is what the wrestlers were referring to as well, that the government has told us that we will tell you the status of the probe of the ongoing probe by by the 15th of June. So you'll know which way this investigation has headed in terms of what the Delhi police has found during its investigation. Remember that the wrestlers were adamant on their demand that they want WFI chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh to be arrested. That's not a promise that the government can make them, because the government has no control over that. The government is not an authority or an agency which is investigating the matter. It is the Delhi police. So that is exactly what has been communicated to the wrestlers over these 5.5 hours. Anurag Thakur, in fact, Shiv, stepped out of his residence in order to, in fact, bid goodbye to the wrestlers, leave them to their car as well as they went away. Remember, very crucially, Shiv, Vinesh Fogart, who's also been one of the crucial faces of this agitation, was not present here during this meeting. So it was only Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia and Satyavrat Kadian, who is Sakshi Malik's husband and also a wrestler. So 15th of June is what the wrestlers are claiming. The government has told them. We'll let you know about the status of the probe.
Let's listen to what Bajrang Punia just said. Once again, let's just listen to it before I go to Himanshu.
जो गवर्नमेंट के साथ हमारी बात हुई है खेल मंत्री जी के साथ कि 15 तारीख तक 15 जून तक जो पुलिस की जो कानून का जो पुलिस की प्रक्रिया चल रही है वो पूरी करने की बोली है, और उन्होंने बोला कि 15 तारीख तक आप कोई भी प्रोटेस्ट ना करें। तो हमने जो उन्होंने प्रपोजल कुछ बिंदुओं में बात हुई कि खिलाड़ियों का सुरक्षा का ध्यान रखा जाएगा, महिला खिलाड़ियों का भी और पुरुष खिलाड़ियों का भी, और जितने भी केस खिलाड़ियों के ऊपर हुए हैं वो वापस लिए जाएंगे। तो वो चीजें सरकार ने मानी है, और जो हमारे साथ बातचीत हुई है वो हम जो हमारे समर्थक हैं, खाप चौधरी है, जितने भी हमारे साथ संगठन जुड़े हैं, चाहे वो महिला संगठन है चाहे वो किसान संगठन है, हम सब के सामने वो प्रस्ताव रख देंगे। 1-2 दिन में हम उनकी सहमति उनसे बात करके उनको बता देंगे कि आप लोग सहमत हो।
हिमांशु is also with me for more on this. हिमांशु, अगला कदम क्या होगा? अभी जून 15 तक जो जांच चल रही है वो खत्म हो जाएगा, ये अश्योरेंस मिला है रेसलिंग चैंपियंस को। तो अब से लेकर जून 15 तक क्या होगा हिमांशु?
देखिए, मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है शिव की 15 जून तक तो जो आंदोलन है वो नहीं किया जाएगा। दूसरा जो है ब्रिज भूषण को लेकर जो भी आरोप लगे हैं उसको लेकर जो भी चार्जशीट है वो पुलिस के द्वारा 15 जून से पहले जो है कोर्ट में सबमिट कर दी जाएगी, और उसके बाद जो है कोर्ट की हेयरिंग होगी। अब देखना ये है कि चार्जशीट में क्या ब्रिज भूषण के ऊपर उन सब आरोपों को लेकर क्या रिपोर्ट के अंदर तथ्य पेश किए जाते हैं, क्योंकि ब्रिज भूषण से भी जो है वो 2 बार जो है वो पूछताछ हो चुकी है 6-6 घंटे की, और उन्होंने भी उन सब आरोपों का ये कहें कि खंडन किया, और ये कहा कि जो उन पे आरोप लगाए गए हैं उसके खिलाफ उनके पास सबूत है, और उसी के कवायद में जो है 200 लोगों के स्टेटमेंट जो है किए गए। जैसे कि आप नाबालिग लड़की ने का आरोप था कि रांची के अंदर जब वो मेडल पहनाया जा रहा था तो उनके साथ छेड़छाड़ की गई, तो उस वक्त जितने लोग मौजूद थे उन सबके स्टेटमेंट हुए। साक्षी मलिक ने आरोप लगाया कि कजाकिस्तान में जो एक इंटरनेशनल टूर्नामेंट था वहाँ पर उनके साथ छेड़छाड़ की गई, तो कजाकिस्तान में जो भारतीय प्रतिनिधिमंडल था रेसलिंग का वो उनके सभी मेंबर्स से अलग अलग बातचीत की गई है। साथ ही साथ विनेश फोगाट ने कहा था कि 16 और 17 अक्टूबर को जो है दिल्ली में उनके साथ छेड़छाड़ की थी ब्रिज भूषण शरण सिंह ने कहा 16 अक्टूबर 2017 को वो लखनऊ में थे, एक नेशनल चैंपियनशिप के ट्रायल में थे, और 17 तारीख को वो गोंडा अपने गृह क्षेत्र में थे, पब्लिक फंक्शन में थे। तो उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए SIT की टीम वहाँ गई थी जांच करने के लिए। अब वो रिपोर्ट पे होगा कि रिपोर्ट में ब्रिज भूषण के क्या आरोप तय हो पाएंगे या नहीं हो पाएंगे, वो कोर्ट के अंदर एक रिपोर्ट जाएगी। लेकिन बड़ा सवाल यह है, बजरंग पूनिया ने यह भी कह दिया कि जो पहलवानों के ऊपर FIR थी उसको विड्रॉ किया जाएगा, ये सरकार की तरफ से एश्योरेंस दिया गया। अगर ऐसा होता है तो पहलवान एक तरीके से सरकार पर दबाव बनाने में कामयाब रहे कि जो FIR उनके ऊपर की गई है उसको वापस लिया जाए। और ब्रिज भूषण को लेकर सरकार ये पहलवानों को मनाने में कामयाब रही कि देखिए एक कानूनी प्रक्रिया है, उस प्रक्रिया को पूरा होने से पहले अगर आप किसी को अरेस्ट करते हैं तो गलत संदेश जाएगा। कानूनी प्रक्रिया पूरे होने दीजिए, मैटर सब जुडिस है, कोर्ट का फैसला जो भी आएगा वो सबको स्वीकार होगा, और अगर कोई दोषी होता है तो उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, चाहे वो कोई भी हो। तो यानी कि ब्रिज भूषण शरण सिंह के ऊपर अभी भी जो है वो कह सकते हैं कि तलवार लटकी हुई है। कोर्ट में क्या रिपोर्ट दी जाएगी इसके आधार पर कोर्ट तय करेगा। तीसरी चीज़, जो इलेक्शन है रेसलिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के वो 45 दिन में कराने हैं। उसके लेकर एक एडहॉक कमेटी जो है वो मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से बना दी गई थी, जो पूरी डे टू डे एक्टिविटी और इंटरनेशनल टूर्नामेंट्स को देख रही है। अब इन प्लेयर्स का ये कहना था जब इलेक्शन हो तो फेयर और ट्रांसपेरेंट होने चाहिए, उसमें किसी भी तरीके की कोई भी चीज़ छिपाई नहीं जानी चाहिए। तो उसको लेकर भी सरकार की तरफ से इनको एश्योर किया गया है कि जो भी इलेक्शन होगा रेसलिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया का वो फेयर एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट होगा। और उस इलेक्शन में सबसे बड़ी बात यह है ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह तो चुनाव नहीं लड़ सकते हैं क्योंकि उनके 12 साल कंप्लीट हो गए हैं एज ए प्रेसिडेंट। अब उनके बेटे भी इस चुनाव की प्रक्रिया से दूर होंगे, यानी कि वो भी फेडरेशन में किसी ऑफिस बेरर के इलेक्शन को कंटेस्ट नहीं करेंगे। तो ये एक तरीके से सरकार की जो है वो सहमति बनी है। अब इस पर 15 तारीख को जब कोर्ट के अंदर ये मैटर जाएगा, रिपोर्ट सबमिट होगी, उसके बाद हो सकता है कि एक राउंड और इन पहलवानों की जो है वो खेल मंत्री अनुराग ठाकुर के साथ बातचीत हो और फिर बीच का रास्ता निकाला जाए कि देखिए अब तो रिपोर्ट भी चली गई है और इस रिपोर्ट के अंदर जो भी चीज़ें पुलिस की तरफ से दी गई हैं वो बिल्कुल सही है। उसको लेकर क्या होगा और कोर्ट जो फैसला दे वो सबको मान्य होना चाहिए, चाहे वो ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह के खिलाफ आए या ना आए। तो इसको लेकर जो है वो सहमति बनाने का काम मुझे लगता है वो 15 जून के बाद होगा, क्योंकि 15 जून तक तो ये कहा गया कि रिपोर्ट जो है वो सबमिट होगी। शिव।
Okay, Himanshu, thank you very much. Bajrang Punia speaking. Let's listen in.
हमारे साथ संगठन जुड़े हैं, चाहे वो महिला संगठन है, चाहे वो किसान संगठन है, हम सब के सामने वो प्रस्ताव रखेंगे। 1-2 दिन में हम उनकी सहमति उनसे बात करके उनको बता देंगे ये चीजें बात हुई है, ये चीजें हम बात हुई है। तो वो चीजें ये लिए भाई, चलो भाई। गिरफ्तारी पर क्या बात हुई? देखिए वही सरकार ने बोला कि भाई हम 15 तारीख तक जो पुलिस की प्रक्रिया है वो पूरा करके आप लोगों को बता देंगे। और ये बताया जा रहा विनेश फोगाट नाराज थी इसलिए शामिल नहीं हुई, क्या वजह थी आज? ये सारी बोलने की बातें हैं, मुझे नहीं पता कहाँ से ये लोगों के पास आती है। कोई नाराज नहीं है, वार्ता का दौर चलेगा, अनुराग ठाकुर से और वार्ता होगी। देखिए अगर कोई और बात हुई तो आगे फिर बात चर्चित होंगी। धन्यवाद जी, धन्यवाद जी, ओके, धन्यवाद जी।
Okay, Polomi is still with us. Polomi, looks like Minister Anurag Thakur is likely to brief the media as well. He's likely to make some kind of a statement. From what Himanshu was just telling us, it looks like some substantive headway has been made in this marathon meeting for both sides.
That's right, Shiv. In fact, we're getting a confirmation. You heard from the wrestlers over there as to what they claimed happened in that meeting with the Union Sports Minister over the last 5.5 hours. Now the government is confirming. Yes, Anurag Thakur will, of course, speak with the media as well. But they're confirming the 2 points that have been, in fact, made by Bajrang Punia and Sakshi, who spoke with the media. That 15th of June is when they've been assured till when the probe will be completed. And Delhi Police will, of course, file a status report, whether it's a charge sheet, whether evidence is found against Bajrang Punia, I beg your pardon, Brij Sharan Singh or not, or whether it's a closure report because no evidence is found. That, of course, we'll find out when, of course, that status report is filed by Delhi Police in court. The second point, which has been made and has been confirmed by the government as well, is that the government has assured the wrestlers that they will be withdrawing the cases against them, the FIRs which were lodged against the wrestlers when they tried to proceed towards the new Parliament building on the day of its inauguration on May 28th. So these points have been confirmed by government. Of course, we'll get an official word from Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur in a short while from now, Shiv.
Okay, Polomi, we'll keep coming back to you. We're going to stay on this story because Anurag Thakur, the minister, is about to emerge from his residence. He's going to speak. So we've heard from Bajrang Punia. We're going to try and get in touch with also Vinesh Phogat, who wasn't at that meeting, Sakshi Malik, who was at that meeting, and the minister. All of them will hopefully be speaking to us right after this very short break. Stay with us. Live coverage from outside Anurag Thakur's residence continues right after this 30-second break. Stay with us.
Not the Maharaja, Indigo is still the undisputed king of Indian skies. And the airline with the ubiquitous blue livery is ensuring its holds onto its crown. In Indigo is reportedly spooling its engines to launch a 500 aircraft order. It would make it the biggest order till date from India, larger than the 470 aircraft ordered by Air India earlier this year. Indigo is eyeing 500 single-aisle Airbus A320 family aircraft with a sticker price of more than $50 billion. The final price, according to analysts, could be nearly half if discounts for bulk deals are included. Indigo is also planning on buying 25 wide-body aircraft, for which Airbus and Boeing are still in contention with their A330 Neo and 787 models. Indigo is already one of the largest Airbus customers, operating 308 Airbus-made aircraft. Nearly 500 aircraft are still to be delivered. There are fears that the two huge aircraft orders by Indigo and Air India could skew the demand-supply dynamics in the Indian markets. Indian carriers now have the second largest order book for aircraft, behind only the United States. The past few months have seen air traffic rise to zoom past pre-COVID levels as travellers return with a vengeance. Indigo had a market share of nearly 58% in April, with Vistara and Air India at a distant second and third positions. Go First, which went under last month, also had a decent 6% market share. With the Wadia Group-owned Go First grounded, Indian skies are running short of aircraft, pushing up airfares into stratosphere. There could be some relief for flyers in the future with these additions to aircraft fleet, both on domestic and international routes. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.